I suppose poetry is kind of the cheapest form of therapy, but yeah, it doesn't really work because I'm still screwed up after all this time. Anyway, I'll start off with a poem. It's from my book. It's called The Impotence of Being Earnest, and it's a spiritual impotence, not, you know, it's about the, you know, the world, it's the impotence of being, yeah, and then earning, yeah, okay. It's not just about dysfunction in part of my metabolical function. Or maybe it is.
I'm trying to clarify.
And as I'm getting older, it's getting more true. Poetry can predict the future. Anyway, I definitely need therapy soon. Okay, this is called Bus Stop. Bus stop now! I sounded the bell, I shouted out, stop! It's not the right place, but I will face that and the consequences of my decision, the aggressive nature of my position. I'll kick up an exhibition and embarrass everyone round me, including, let's see, there is only me. And as I leave the bus at the wrong alighting points, my overwrought shouts and screams are stinking like a joint, burning pock-marked holes in the upholstery and in the gantry. Flames lick next to a crack whore, picking up scabs of the oil-soaked floor. All zombie life is here, but I've seen it all before. Off the bus, shattered I fall. Past the hissing, stuttering, slow-to-open door. I'm thinking, why do I have to now walk? When your mouth is closed, you should not talk. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to have our first floor spot. He's somebody... I look forward to that. Yes. This is anyway called The Bus of Tourette's. And it is also... a true story. Anyway. Facing the threats of people not letting his gibbering get to them, he carries on his carry-on. He cannot help how it spurts out those mad shouts. An echo like the tracks of a train, crossing and sparking his brain, begging for order that squandered 34 years, the taxing arrears of the loss of the peace, the expelling the mess may still achieve. The mess he sees around him, outside of his head, that is not madness, that is real. Abuse I am using as fuel for my own inane babble and hysteria to steal with tiny finger twitches that might reduce them a peg or two, the bitches that stitched my rage and fury together, and I now wear as I wear away. You are lucky, mate. No one will touch you. That dementia cannot confront, only affront and confuse. We all have much too much to lose. Thank you. Anyway, so talking about mind over doesn't matter. This is called Mind Over Doesn't Matter. 10 pennies for a miracle. No? 2 then. Less than? 3? The more fantastic the illusion contrives to appear, the more convinced the audience will be that it is real. That the sliced woman did resurrect from fatal wounds and flew above the heads and became an angel. The initial reports declared that she, Princess Diana, had only injured her legs and may recover. Comments that were later forgotten in the conflagration of speculations and ill-formed opinions proffered by the pundits, required by the shock of it all. A grandmother had also died that night in a house fire, caused by a fault in a plugged-in television set. Luckily, the flames were controlled before spreading to the rest of the terrace, but she was asphyxiated. Skip to 2 years later, the eve of a new millennium, unable to live up to the gravitas of its name. In a crack house in Edmonton, North London, nearly dead, Tony Davis made a teary resolution to change his ways, get his shit together, pack in the junk, and sort it out. He did. But it only lasted seconds, before he found out he was, if not weak, then not strong. He got back home 2 days later, smelling of trouble, to find his wife leaving with the kids and the car. As he got to the gate, they drove past his hurt and confusion, while neighbours and onlookers gawked laughing. He felt like his favourite trick, those rings that look eternally linked, but come apart with no effort from the magician, and he laughed too. The fake charity she now works for sells donated second-hand clothes to third world retailers who indirectly harm the microeconomics of corrupt African oligarchs with international interests. She is saving to pay to remove the tattoo of his name from her arm and a console or a handheld for the kids. Thank you. About another president, or maybe it was not about someone, but I said it and they said that's about Bush, isn't it? So it was about Bush, but now I think it's more appropriate for Trump. That lovely man, the Great Wall of Trump. Anyway, funny bone. There is a funny, peculiar bone that has grown inside his brain into the shape of a question mark. It's sharp and jagged as the tooth of a shark. It cuts and strips, and in the dark it shines inside his mind. Bigger and bigger now, it's as big as his big ideas, feeds on his thoughts for sustenance and spears all expectation, expecting something in return. Apart from a burning, it only tickles as it shreds, it talks bullshit and it begs an independent life, a kid to fuck up, and a wife to knock up too, and a god to lick its shoe. It plans to enlarge and break the skull in a barrage of common sense all cliche and so dull. He has kept it under drapes, but eventually when it escapes, like the birth of Zeus's last mistake, a war will then ensue, one that will affect us too, an apocalyptic hullabaloo of a peculiar funny bone coup. And so we will drive through tears of pig blood rain, along roads lined with victims that we will call progress, hurting and hating that we do not understand but are desperate to possess. We will bow to the bone in an orgy of excess.